What's up? Welcome back to Phoenix Speaks. This is episode 3. Today is Wednesday, January is it the 3rd today or the 4th? Let me see. 4th. Yep. Today is the 4th. Um, I'm back driving again. The traveling podcast. I think I like that most times when I'm doing this, or recording these episodes or whatever, I'm actually doing something that involves my daily life. So today's episode, I wanted to make this because at this very moment, because it's I felt led to do it for sure, but also to share this moment with you all. I don't anticipate this episode being long, just because it's kind of like a short little blurb that I have to share. But I wanted to give you guys a glimpse or a listen into a day or a feeling for me. I'm not feeling very motivated today. That's just a fact. The cool thing about what I do with my job, so for those who do not know, I am a multi-hyphenate creative professional. So I do a lot of different things, and I'm able to monetize a lot of my talents and then skill sets to benefit me, right? And the things that I do in life to be able to invest into future things, provide for myself financially, all that. So my main gig, I would say, because I am 100% my own boss, entrepreneur, full time on all that. My main gig is that I am a brand consultant, but I'm also a visual media specialist. So I operate within marketing specialty and all that to help one of my clients with their business to help them scale via social media and other marketing channels and whatnot, basically working with the team and doing all these different things. That's a completely different conversation, a completely different part of the brand, so I'm not going to go into in depth into that in this podcast because I just wanted to provide context. But within me going down that route of business, I have the flexibility to just um to show up in at the office that I work at, um wherever I feel like there's a lot of logistics with all that, but I can work basically anywhere that I feel led to work, which is just remote work, right? Now I can choose to do stuff remotely or whatever, in person. It's just depending on the specific engagement. Um, but today, I chose like my morning to spend that at home. I actually did get a lot accomplished this morning because I have been meal prepping for the past 2 days now. Um, I was able to meal prep some breakfast items, so um, that was dope. And I got to complete some things, with the team and whatnot this morning as well, which was really cool. So yeah, I've been pretty productive in that respect, but I haven't felt as productive as I actually have been. And that's just something that goes into the mental process of how you perceive your day and the way that you're moving throughout your day. Um, and I could talk about that for hours because it's very interesting just how your mind can truly play tricks on you when it comes to the way that you are being proactive. And so, I'm not feeling as motivated. And one reason why I'm also not feeling as motivated is the weather. It is definitely very gloomy today. You feel me? However, I'm going to get everything that I have set into motion accomplished today. I definitely have to work out this evening. I didn't go this morning. I feel as though I'm learning to be more gracious to my own routine. I have to create a routine to be able to be balanced in a lot of these things. That's very important to me. But I am learning that, I cannot sit here and force myself to do too much. Like I want to do this and I want to do that, right? But I don't have to operate on a like to the T schedule for certain things in my life. And if I do that too often, it then creates this negative feedback loop that causes me to shift out of whatever I was trying to shift into. So I'm trying to start a new habit or trying to build something up, and now I'm creating this negative feedback loop. What am I more than likely to do? Quit. I don't feel like doing it anymore. I don't feel like being productive in that anymore. And then that just creates dysfunction. And that's not what I want in my life. I want peace, and prosperity. So that's where I'm at with that. But I wanted to share that with y'all because I think that it's important to understand that you do not have to be perfect at all. We are not perfect people. We are not perfect beings. We are progressing and developing as people. But I was talking, I think I referred to something in the last episode. And honestly, I cannot remember what I was talking about. Let me be honest with y'all. But all I know is you have to do things at your own pace, and you should definitely be more gracious to yourself when you are operating at your own pace. It is difficult to go through life and get to keep knocking yourself down because you have not operated to a level that you have expected from yourself. When in actuality, you're imperfect. So allow yourself some leniency sometimes. Now, you don't want to be so lenient that you become lazy or so lax that you do not you know move forward in what you're trying to do and accomplish. But let's say you had set in motion to go work out at 6 a.m. this morning. 6 a.m. is pretty early in the morning to get up, right? Now, I typically try to get up at 5 a.m., but that's just me, right? But I didn't get up at 5 a.m. this morning. I was not feeling that. I went back to bed, right? But I know that's when I wanted to work out. So what's the compromise, right? I created a compromise with myself. I said, okay, if I can't go right now, then this evening, that's when I'm going to be doing my workout. So that's when I will be working out today because I have to work out at least once today with my, routine or whatever. And that's the standard. Now I have set in motion that, yeah, I really wanted to do this in the morning to get my day started. It does help me to really wake up and, have a lot more energy for the day. However, I can move it. I have the I have permission to move those specific tasks, that specific task in my life. I have permission to do that from me. Give yourself permission to do the things that you need to do. That's bottom line. Give yourself permission. I think that's what I was trying to get to. I'm pretty sure I said that in the last episode was give yourself permission. But yeah, like give yourself permission to be compromising and flexible. Give yourself permission to do these things because at the end of the day, it's not serving you to not be flexible. So why not? Just do it. So that's what I had to share because, sometimes I don't recognize just how relatable these things could be to other people. I know there is someone else out there that is probably feeling the same way about their routine and they'll get discouraged. I don't want you to get discouraged. It's 2023. We just started a new year. Let's not get discouraged about moments that aren't even shortcomings. They're just adjustments. We have to adjust to the tides, to the time. We do have these points that are really significant that help us to kind of mentally prepare and say, yes, this is a new year. We're starting off right, a clean slate. However, we have literally only moved to the next day from December 31st to January 1st. We've only moved another day, right? Yes, it's another year. It's 2023 now, but we've only moved another day. So allow that next day to just continue to carry you and don't allow it to deter you from making movement and also from having mishaps. You can miss a day sometimes. Don't make it a habit, but allow yourself to have moments where you're not always going to operate at 100%. And you may not show up at 100% because you do have to have some days where you can take off. But balance it out and make sure that it's not operating out of a lack or lazy mindset, but you're operating out of a I'm giving myself grace. That's the best advice I can give based off of my own experience and how it's been for me to have to deal with situations like this. So yeah, I definitely feel like I pepped my own self up, honestly. Another thing that helps me is affirmations, being able to say to yourself, I am conscious of the decisions that I'm making and they are the best decisions for me. Um, I am able to make sound decisions for my life. I'm confident in the decisions I make. Um, I have control over my routine. I have control over my habits. I am operating in a way that makes me who I would like to show up in this world. Like things of that nature. You have to be able to affirm yourself in some way, shape, or form. I do it physically, or not physically, audibly. Being able to say it out loud. You can write it down, honestly, but also present action. Back that up. Back up what you just said with action. So when I say that, when it comes to a moment where I am, you know, indecisive, shut it down. Decide. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hesitate on these decisions. If I know, like, okay, yeah, you know, I want some. Oh, perfect example. You know, I love boba, right? I love me some boba tea. I go to Kung Fu Tea, go get me some boba, right? They have a lot of flavors that I could choose from. And I'm stuck between these two decisions. Just choose. Just say, I want this one. You know what I'm saying? Which one do you feel like was your first instinct? That's a good way to figure out if that's the one that you should choose. Just choose it. You know, at the end of the day, you'll live with the consequence of having that specific flavor or, boba tea, whatever, but you did it. You made a decision, and it's a decision that was of sound mind. You were able to be decisive in that moment, and that makes you a confident individual, a confident decision maker. That's what that makes you. So now you just affirm that with action. And sometimes you have to put yourself in a situation where that has to happen. Like you have to do that. So you have to go somewhere. You might have to spend a little money, or you don't have to spend a little money. Let's say, okay, I want to go and be in nature. Well, I have two places I can choose from. I'm gonna choose one, go and just start driving. I didn't have to spend no money other than, a few miles of gas or whatever. But I made a decision to do something, and that just made me a more confident decision maker that backed up what I just affirmed for myself. So basically, use that as your resource, use that as your guide to helping you, navigate these difficult moments. They don't have to be difficult, but you make them more difficult when you are indecisive or when you aren't able to back up, whatever you're saying with action. So affirmations have helped me. Hopefully that can help you if that makes sense. I will try to do more. Make sure this, like I said, this podcast is not your typical podcast. It's a traveling podcast for one. For two, it's a podcast that is just a culmination of different things that I have came up with, experience, whatever. I don't aim to be orthodox at all. I aim to just be me here on this podcast and to present you all more aspects of my mind. And, like I said, be insightful and impart different bits of knowledge, wisdom, education, inspiration, clarity, anything that I can give, I will try my best to give via this podcast. Right, as of right now, we're only on the audio version of this. There is no visuals for this yet, but one day there will be. So we're just going to get to that point together. Other than that, that's really what I wanted to say today. I'm actually almost at my destination to get some work done. I feel a lot better by getting this out. I think I just needed to get that out. So I'm glad I followed my intuition. So I'm proud of myself for doing that. I'm proud of myself for following my intuition. I have been a great decision maker today. Um, and yeah, I'm happy with the decision that I made. I'm satisfied with the decision that I made. It is the best decision for me today. Boom, we're good. Affirm yourself, my friends. Affirm yourself as you should. You should affirm yourself. I give you permission to affirm yourself. Give yourself permission to affirm yourself. You deserve it. All right. That is all from me. I hope you all have an amazing, immaculate rest of your day, rest of your morning. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, I hope that whatever moment after this happens, it is the best moment of your life. So, all love, all gratification, all joy, peace. Phenix.